89, 91. So for 2 years, you can guess my age when you hear those numbers. I was a player coach in the 2nd division in Germany. It was a unique opportunity because we don't have player coaches anymore, and I was able to test my own practices and motivational skills within the periods and give myself shit if I had to. If I hadn't played well, you don't understand shit. Okay. No, but it's really was a good experience. And from that day forward, I have to tell you, when I became a head coach in Austria in '91 in Feldkirch, till today, I think one of the most important things we can do as coaches is never stop learning, never stop growing, never stop looking for information, never stop yourself from developing, reinventing yourself and the teams that you're coaching. And I think that's something that's taken me to where I am today. I was in Feldkirch for 7 years, where 2 Swedes, Bent-Åke Gustafsson and Thomas Rundqvist, became centerpieces of who I am as a coach today. I was able to talk them out of retiring at 34. They played 5 more years in Feldkirch. We won quite a few trophies, finishing with the Champions League in '98. And Bent-Åke Gustafsson, who was your national coach, which you know for many years, then became my assistant with the Swiss national program for 5 years. But that time in Feldkirch was where the values that I find that are important within the game today were really cemented. Thomas Rundqvist and Bent-Åke were people that influenced my North American brain, and I ended up with a mix of North America and Europe. It carried me into the Swiss national program for 3 Olympics and 13 different years of world championships, Olympics, and so on. And then, you know, probably I had an NHL stint from 2010 till 2013, was chairman of Southampton Football Club for 6 years, a completely different genre, and have returned to hockey again. And I think it's that hunger for learning and growing that is taking me to this job, that I'm standing on the bench with the Sabres here today. And on that journey, there wasn't one single situation with a player, whether it was in Southampton as the chairman, in Feldkirch as a player, in Switzerland, it doesn't matter where I didn't have an opportunity to grow and learn and get better as a coach. And I think a few things that have been cornerstones to my coaching style is, number one, the style of communication. I think the single most important thing we as leaders can do is try and catch our players doing things right. I'm about confirming behavior and confirming habits and confirming what you need to do to find the potential of your group. I think with video and technology, coaches often default to the mistakes. And if you're going to show a mistake, you better show them what you want them to do. If you're going to speak about the opposition, tell them what they need to do, and so on and so forth. I'm all about solutions. If I don't have a solution, I better stay away from the problem. And one of the things we do after a game like last night, we've got a really quick turnover. What can we do in a few hours to adjust our players to have a better chance against Tampa tonight, to play a better game? The first thing you need to do is take your own emotions out of it. You need to look at the reality of the situation. We're here in Sweden. We've got 5 Swedes that want to play really good tonight and show, you know, show not only Sweden but the world that they're strong NHL players. So we take things we did well last night. Yes, we add a few what I call learners, maybe a clip or 2 or 3 about things we could improve on and how Tampa came at us and where they broke us down. But more than anything, the players this morning would have seen, and it wouldn't have been a long video meeting, a max of 10 minutes with video and talking and everything, to just solidify what we did well last night, what we need to build on. So catch your players doing things right. Create a culture of communication where you're actually trying to make a player a better player and a better person in every meeting and every contact you have, and the same with your team. Now, when I came in against Tampa here last night with the team, you know, we had a lot of respect for them. We still have a lot of respect for them, and they were the best team in the league last year. But it's more about us. It's about us and what we need to do and how we need to develop to become a competitive team in the NHL, to be in the playoff race in the new year is what we're reaching for. And it's all about us in getting ready for this game tonight. But I think one of the things is, some people call it a positive attitude. I don't say it's a positive attitude. I don't believe in positive thinking on its own anymore. It's creating positive actions. If you're just talking positive all the time, the team is not going to buy into you either. If they play bad, you got to say, hey guys, we played horrible today. That wasn't a good game. So what do we need to do to correct that? What can we learn from that? How can we move on? Then you take the lessons, you give them the solutions, and you move on. It's not about just being smiley friendly. That's not positive for me. It's creating an atmosphere where the players feel positive actions, positive solutions are being driven, and they will buy into that. The athlete of today wants to know the answers, so we have to give them to them. I think it's important that when we started in Buffalo, I'm the kind of coach that walks into an atmosphere like that without any binders from the past, without any drill books from the past, and I try to develop with the coaching staff I have a new set of drills and the concepts and the principles. Yes, old ones are going to be in there, and old ones will get tucked in there, and it's what you have in your mind. But we really have organically tried to grow the game that we want to play. Looking at the assets we have, looking at the skill set we have, because every team you coach is going to have a different age, a different skill set, a different ability, and against the competition, a different opportunity. And I think within that, you need to create a culture that fits the group. Sometimes coaches, I find, stick with one certain style no matter who's in front of them. And I think it's important we kind of feel, and many of you are probably working with youth players. What age is that? What's their ability? And let's adapt our programs for them and make it unique for them. And I think, and we're doing that in Buffalo right now. We have a very open communication culture where the players have opportunities to have a voice. Their voice is taken seriously, and we keep that line of communication open so that the only reason you're ever going to have a negative energy in the team that you coach, the only reason you're going to have a negative energy in your coaching staff or with players or anything is because your expectations are not clear or they're not on the same page. The only way we can break that down is by being outstanding communicators, and we force the clarity of those expectations. So if I'm walking in and the players do not know exactly what our concept is in relation to putting pressure on the puck, and they make mistakes, and I'm showing them on the video, and I'm giving them crap for doing it the wrong way and saying I have to clear those expectations ahead of time. It's the same with respect. How do you want your team to be? You need to clarify what the definition of respect is for you. Is it yelling at the players, your teammates on the bench, or is it pushing your teammates forward on the bench, and so on and so forth? Any relationship that you're in that doesn't have the right energy, it's because your expectations between people are not the same. You know, my most important team, I always say, is my family. If my wife and I have been married 34 years, and that's hard work. That's hard work. We have to permanently clear expectations. If we ever stop doing that and things start splitting apart because we're not communicating properly anymore, there's a big chance that's not going to work, right? And it's the same with your players. You've got to continually work at clearing what you expect and what they expect, and you can only find out what they expect if you're willing to talk to them and communicate with them. And then when that's clear, you can go out and you can play. Because in the end, we're trying to do something in Buffalo, which is give the players concepts and theories that count. We're not a big system team. It's more principles of pressure. How do we connect to create pressure with 5 guys? And if the other team has full control and there's one guy up there forechecking, no, we don't want him to do that. Pull back, wait, delay in the neutral zone, create pressure there. All together, connected. And when we win the puck, our D can jump in and we go together with proper backing of the pressure of the opposition and so on. But getting your team connected on the ice is really what the game of hockey is all about, because there you can create your synergy and you can create a powerful game within that. But it all begins with your communication off ice. It all begins with bringing in solution mentality. And the final thing, which I mentioned right off the hop, is just the work ethic and the grit that's needed to be successful, and the willingness to pay the price to improve every day. So we in Buffalo have one real simple focus in an 82-game, 6-month season. It's every day we get up, we come in, what can we do today to improve? Number one, we're looking for improvement. Constant growth everywhere, in the coaches, for ourselves, for the players, and they got to feel that. And take care of the tasks that we have today. Is it a practice day? Is it a game day? What is it today? Don't look too far back. Don't look too far forward. Because in the end, the beauty of coaching is you find your happiness if you can be right here, right now, present, and trying to be the best coach you can be at the moment. Not worried so much about the end results of games, but worried about the steps that take us through the game and get your team to look at the clock when it's all over. We've been saying in the dressing room, forget about the standings. They count one time in the National Hockey League, and that's on April 4th. That's it. Before that, it's how we execute, finding our potential, working towards that. But, you know, the ride through Europe into the National Hockey League has been a good one. I find the game is quite blended. North America, Europe has come together. I don't see the game uniquely different anymore. It used to be so different when I started coaching national programs in Russia, Sweden, Finland, Czech, Germany, North America, NHL. There were so many different cultures of hockey, but I think they've really blended, and the game is fantastic today. It's much more offensive. There's a lot more space. The rules have been adjusted to protect the skilled players, especially in the National Hockey League. And for us as coaches in the National Hockey League, you want to be able to let that genius play. You just want to create a system of structure where they buy in without the puck. Click, we're all playing defense. And how can we do that together as a group? But when we get it, how can we play in a way that gets us in the offensive zone, that gives our genius an opportunity to express itself and to play? So we don't overcoach, we don't over-regulate the players. What we have is clear principles and concepts of play that they need to stick to and that we practice. And to practice, for me, your times are often precious, and I believe that practice should be about quality and not quantity. Never reduce your quality. If we only have 20 minutes, we're going to make it the best 20 minutes. If the team is in a back-to-back situation, we don't have a pregame skate tomorrow, but if we have a day of practice in between, we might reduce the practice time, but we'll never reduce the quality. I'd rather have a 13 or 14 minute skate at the quality you want to play at than a 30-minute skate where the guys float through it because they're tired. So I think that's important, is whether it's off ice, which has become a very big component in all of our games, and in the National Hockey League today it's huge, the way we pre-activate so that when the players come on the ice, they're game ready. Their training camp, we'd have our meeting an hour before practice, and the final weightlifting situation ended 3 hours later, and that was our practice time. Our practice time was from 9 in the morning till 12 o'clock. We were actually only on the ice for 2 35-minute sessions in the middle, but the practice time starts at 9. We want your heads ready, we want your minds ready. We activated off ice, we went on ice, we had a break, did a little teaching, did another 35 minutes. They went off ice, they had a little cool down, they went to weightlifting, and they left 3 hours after they came. And in that space, we train. And in the National Hockey League today, you need to be excellent off-ice, boy, because it has to often take the place of on-ice practice. But within that, the phones are gone, the focus is on excellence. Even if there's a meal in there, are we doing it the best we can? Because that's all you can do is in that space. And then we release them to do what they need to do. So my journey, again, with a big Swedish base, in the way I think, combined with North American hockey, I'll be very honest about that. And just what a vehicle we're in. There's nothing better than working in hockey as a sport. There's no sport where we as coaches have larger influence on the game, with players returning to us every 30 seconds. I always laughed in Southampton in the Premier League when the coaches were running up and down the sidelines and screaming, and I knew the players couldn't hear anything compared to the way we get to work together with our coaches. And enjoy your journeys wherever you are. Have fun, continue to put your hearts into it. If you're coaching kids or you're coaching adults, it's a wonderful place to be, because above all, we can get better every day. We can continue to grow, and I thank you for this time. I don't know how much time I have left, but I hope everybody enjoys the game today. We're going to do our best to make it an excellent match again, and I wish everybody here and their teams a healthy, happy season and good growth ahead. But thank you for this time.